we are on. Okay, we're on.
Attention, there are flowers. Flowers have been delivered from a prisoner. So if anyone's expecting flowers from a prisoner, they're at the front desk. Thank you.
Okay, and we are frosting the cake, and we want it to sound delicious and go. People have, like, it's very clear. You know, certain people, to me, it's a mystery. Like Ellen. What her butt looks like? Well, I mean, it doesn't look good.
We are dangerously close to overtime, everybody. Let's get this last shot, please, and break for lunch.
Come on down to Barbecue Street all week for some great deals on food and fixins'. Mondays, it's 25% off Buffalo Blasted Chicken Wings. Tuesdays, it's 50% off whatever Buffalo Blasted Chicken Wings are left over from Monday. Wednesday, we've got 10% off our famous Dry Spice Ribs. But make sure to come back on Thursday for 60% off a sampler platter of Monday's leftover Buffalo Blasted Chicken Wings and Wednesday's Dry Spice Ribs. Fridays, we kick things...
This is You Don't Know Jack 2015. I'm your host, Cookie Masterson. And hey, wipe that smile off your face. This is serious. Okay, just kidding. There will be farts and stuff. 2 players? What happened? Did you lose your pieces to Battleship? Everybody's got their screws. You can force another player to answer immediately by hitting your screw button. If they miss it, you win extra bonus dollars. And today's wrong answer of the game is being brought to you by
the San Francisco Otter Choir. Free concerts every Wednesday, except for mating season.
Sniff out our sponsor's wrong answer of the game and you'll end up with a great prize and serious cash. All right, let's move.
Get ready, time for question.
To begin with, Bootyful. Let's analyze one of Kim Kardashian's body parts. About what percentage of Kim Kardashian's brain is just made up of water? 10%, 40%, 80%, or 100%? Players 1 and 2. Kim Kardashian's brain, and everybody else's brain for that matter, is made up of about 80% water. But that other 20% is just so round and firm, I can't stop thinking about it.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it so.
Here's one I like to call, his acting is alright. So, you know how they called Matthew McConaughey's resurgence as an actor his McConaissance? Well, if Matthew McConaughey is currently experiencing a McConaissance, then what period of his life just ended? The McCona Dark Ages, the McCona Industrial Age, the McCona Middle Ages, or the McCona Enlightenment Age? Player 1. All wrong. Player 2. The Renaissance first occurred in Italy in the late 14th century, immediately following the Middle Ages. So the McConaissance would follow the McCona Middle Ages. Which is funny because most Renaissance sculptures also need to put on a damn shirt.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
And on its way, brought to you by the letter Unibrow.
It's the put the choices into order, then buzz in and see if you are right. Question.
And if you get this one right, I'll rustle up some extra moolah for you. Arrange these Sesame Street characters in order of fewest to most eyebrows. Bert, Ernie, the Count. Ernie, Bert, the Count. Bert, Ernie, the Count. The Count, Bert, Ernie, or Ernie, the Count, Bert. Player 1, not much time left. Player 2, Ernie has no eyebrows at all, Bert has one long single eyebrow, and the Count has two eyebrows! You just picked up an extra $1,000 for that. And yet, none of them have ever blinked. Let's try Duck, Duck, Swan. Say the cast of Duck Dynasty attends a performance of Swan Lake and thinks there are real waterfowl on stage. In their confusion, which character would they most likely shoot? Siegfried, Benno, Von Rothbart, or Odette? Time's a-wasting. Player one. Interesting choice. No, I'll get this. Odette is a princess who has been turned into a swan, so the Duck Dynasty crew would probably fill her full of lead. Especially if they find out she once fooled around with a lady swan in college.
5 fingers!
Try this on for size. The man in the backwards yellow hat. And it's a dis or dat. Player one. Why don't you play this dis or dat and see if you can't catch up a bit? I'm going to read off 7 things, and for each one you tell me if it's an alleged antic by pop star Justin Bieber, or an antic by the classic children's book character Curious George. If it's Justin Bieber, press the square button. If it's Curious George, press the circle button. Player 2, lock in your answer before player 1, because if player 1 gets it wrong and you get it right, you steal the cash. Alright, let's get started. Peed in a mop bucket. Broke his leg falling from a fire escape. Arrested for falsely reporting a fire. Egged a house. Got high on ether. Fed a bugle to an ostrich. Went to a Brazilian brothel. You were a couple of bananas short of a bunch. I think we can all agree that it's time for that little bastard to get deported. And then it's your turn, Bieber. We've finished round 1. Don't forget, all the questions in round 2 are worth double. And lest you forget, the wrong answer of the game is still there for the taking. Okay then, here we go. Take a good look at Dumber and Dumberer 2. So there's Dumb and Dumber, and then there was Dumb and Dumberer, and then Dumb and Dumber 2. Makes perfect sense. Now, going back a few decades, there was The Odd Couple and The Odd Couple 2. So, if another remake of The Odd Couple used the superlative adjective, it would be called The Blank Couple. Odd, odder, oddest, or odderest. Players 1 and 2. Odd is the adjective, odder is the comparative adjective, and oddest is the superlative adjective. But of course, everyone who made the original Odd Couple movies is dead, which means it's the perfect time for Rob Schneider to swoop in and revitalize the franchise.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
Take a stab at Let It Go, Let It Go, Let It Go. At which temperature would Olaf from the movie Frozen melt and die? 30 degrees Kelvin, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius, or 30 degrees Rankine? Players 1 and 2. You may not know how temperatures work. The correct answer is 30 degrees is below freezing in Fahrenheit and insanely below freezing in Kelvin and Rankine. But it's pretty balmy in Celsius, about the equivalent of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And I know, blah blah blah, he can magically be saved, but I'm talking about what would happen in the real world to a talking snowman.
Follow me down to the sea. Oh,
Open wide for Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein,
Yeah.
or Uranus.
First spotted in 1879. Kangaroo, Peanuts, Albert Einstein, or Uranus. Player 1. Albert Einstein was first spotted in 1879, the year he was born. Probably by a midwife or something, over a century after Uranus was discovered and even longer after kangaroos and peanuts. I've heard baby Einstein cried a lot because he left behind some important equations on the uterine wall. Player 2. That answer has a hole in it. Coming up next, wine or lose. If the Washington Redskins rebranded themselves with a non-offensive red-skinned mascot, what could they be called? The Washington Chardonnays, the Washington Malbecs, the Washington Pinot Blancs, or the Washington Rieslings? Player 1. This is right. Oops, this is white, which is wrong. Player 2. Chardonnays, Pinot Blancs, and Rieslings are all white-skinned grapes, but the Malbec grape is red. Although to a connoisseur like myself, Malbec is very offensive. Oh yes, I do say that was quite a burn. How about, I want to lick and roll all night? If Kiss singer Gene Simmons' tongue grew to the average length of an adult giraffe's, how deep into a woman's mouth could he stick it when he kissed her? About 5 inches deep, about 10 inches deep, about 20 inches deep, or about 30 inches deep? Players 1 and 2? An adult giraffe's tongue is on average about 18 to 20 inches long. So that's about how deep into a woman's mouth a giraffe-tongued Gene Simmons could stick it. And if Gene Simmons' neck grew to the length of an adult giraffe's, he may not even need women anymore. Welcome to the attack. When you see 2 clues that match, press the X button. 2,000 if you're right, but you lose 2,000 if you're wrong. And one more thing.
Remember the clue.
It's gotta be a match that fits this clue. Your house is made of what? What materials are their houses made from? Good luck. 2 has it! Well, your scores ended up pretty close, but hey, player 2, you're on top. And that's where you have all the fun. Remember, always practice safe trivia and...
You don't know Jack!
Hi, I'm Kyle Pepper, and ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to be a professional baseball player.